Introduction. In previous lessons, we learned that the Arizona Department of Real Estate, ADRE, enforces Title 32, Chapter 20 of the Arizona Revised Statutes, ARS, and regulates Title 4, Chapter 28 of the Arizona Administrative Code, AAC, the Commissioner's Rules. We also discussed how the ADRE issues substantive policy statements, SPS, to clarify how laws and rules are interpreted and enforced. In this lesson, we will focus on the specific role of the Real Estate Commissioner in issuing these policy statements and how they bring clarity to complex or evolving aspects of real estate law. The Commissioner serves as the top authority within the ADRE and has the power under ARS Section 322107 to adopt rules, issue interpretations, and provide direction through substantive policy statements. These statements are one of the most important ways the Commissioner communicates the agency's enforcement approach and ensures that all licensees understand how to comply with the law. The Commissioner's authority and purpose. The Real Estate Commissioner is appointed by the Governor of Arizona to administer and enforce all real estate laws under Title 32, Chapter 20. As the head of the ADRE, the Commissioner has the responsibility to ensure consistent interpretation of the statutes and administrative rules that govern real estate professionals. While laws are created by the legislature and rules are formally adopted through the administrative code, there are times when neither clearly addresses a new issue, technology, or business practice. In these cases, the Commissioner may issue a substantive policy statement to clarify the agency's position and provide practical guidance to the industry. The Commissioner's goal in issuing an SPS is not to create new law, but to interpret existing law in a way that promotes fairness, transparency, and uniform enforcement. Providing clarity through interpretation. When the meaning or enforcement of a statute or rule is unclear, the Real Estate Commissioner can use a substantive policy statement to explain how the ADRE interprets and applies that rule. This is especially useful in areas where industry practices are evolving faster than legislation. For example, when digital contracts and online signatures first became common, many licensees questioned whether such documents were legally valid. To resolve this uncertainty, the ADRE, under the authority of the Commissioner, issued Substantive Policy Statement Number 2005.10, confirming that electronic signatures are valid and enforceable under the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act, ARS Section 44-7001 at ECQ. This policy statement provided clarity to thousands of Arizona real estate professionals and ensured that the industry could adopt new technology without violating the law, ensuring consistency and fair enforcement. The Commissioner's ability to issue substantive policy statements ensures that the ADRE applies laws and rules consistently across all licensees. Without such guidance, individual investigators, educators, and brokers might interpret laws differently, leading to confusion or unequal enforcement. By issuing an SPS, the Commissioner provides an official, written interpretation that all licensees and members of the public can reference. This promotes fairness and uniformity throughout the state. For example, if questions arise about what constitutes reasonable supervision under R4-28-1103, the Commissioner may issue an SPS outlining specific expectations for brokers regarding document review, transaction oversight, and training. Once issued, this statement serves as a clear standard that all brokers are expected to follow. Communicating enforcement expectations. Another key reason the Real Estate Commissioner issues substantive policy statements is to inform licensees how the ADRE intends to enforce certain rules or statutes. Enforcement clarity is essential because it allows real estate professionals to align their conduct with the agency's expectations before an issue arises. Rather than waiting for a violation to occur, the Commissioner can use an SPS as a proactive educational tool. For instance, the Commissioner could issue a policy statement clarifying how R4-28-502E advertising rules applies to social media or AI generated marketing materials. This would help licensees avoid violations by explaining exactly how the ADRE views such advertising and what constitutes compliance. Through this process, the Commissioner supports both enforcement and prevention, promoting voluntary compliance instead of reactive discipline. Educational and advisory role of the Commissioner. Beyond enforcement, the Real Estate Commissioner's role includes education and public outreach. Substantive policy statements support this mission by serving as educational resources for licensees, instructors, and consumers. Real estate schools and instructors use SPS documents to teach up-to-date interpretations of the law in pre-licensing and continuing education courses. For example, when an SPS clarifies the requirements for written employment agreements under R4-28-303 and ARS Section 32-2151.02, it helps schools ensure students understand what constitutes a legally compliant brokerage relationship. This educational aspect of the Commissioner's work reinforces professionalism and reduces the likelihood of future violations. Review Summary. In this section, you learned that the Real Estate Commissioner may issue a substantive policy statement to provide clarity on how a law or rule is interpreted and enforced. These statements ensure consistent application of laws across the real estate industry, help licensees understand the ADRE's enforcement approach, and promote education and compliance. The Commissioner's authority to issue SPS documents comes from ARS Section 322107, which grants the power to adopt and interpret rules necessary to carry out the purposes of Arizona's real estate laws. The key purpose of these policy statements is to make complex laws understandable and practical for everyday application, ensuring that all licensees operate within the same clear and consistent standards. Discussion 1. What is the primary reason the Real Estate Commissioner issues substantive policy statements? Answer. To provide clarity and guidance on how the ADRE interprets and enforces existing laws and rules. 2. What gives the Commissioner the authority to issue substantive policy statements? Answer. ARS Section 32-2107, which allows the Commissioner to adopt rules and provide interpretations necessary to carry out Arizona's real estate laws. 3. How do substantive policy statements support fair enforcement? Answer. They ensure that all licensees are held to the same interpretation of laws and rules, promoting consistency across the industry. 4. What is an example of a substantive policy statement that clarified real estate law? Answer. SPS number 2005.10, which confirmed that electronic signatures are valid and enforceable in Arizona real estate transactions. 5. How do substantive policy statements support education within the real estate industry? Answer. They provide instructors and schools with official interpretations to teach accurate, current legal practices to students and licensees. Closing remarks. The Real Estate Commissioner's ability to provide clarity through substantive policy statements is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining consistency, transparency, and professionalism in Arizona real estate. These statements not only clarify how laws and rules are enforced, but also prevent confusion, protect consumers, and guide licensees toward lawful conduct. Every Arizona real estate professional should stay informed about current SPS documents, as they represent the Commissioner's official interpretation of key statutes and rules that directly affect day-to-day practice. By understanding and following these policy statements, licensees ensure compliance, strengthen public trust, and uphold the integrity of Arizona's real estate industry.